Alright, welcome back to
What Up
Eugene? I, of course, am your host, Lars. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Dan. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. And
What? No, tell me. Doing excellent.
If we sound different, it's because we're using different microphones.
That's correct. So we've made the switch in the studio to lavalier microphones, which are, they're often called lapel microphones, so the clip-on style mic. They're condenser mics, so they are designed to pick up all of the sound in the room. We're doing that so we don't have to use mic stands, we don't have to deal with, it's a very small room, so all the setup that goes into using the regular mics, and then we found we had issues with eye contact. We weren't able to make eye contact because we had to look directly into the mics, so these are going to cut back on that significantly, but there's probably going to be some sacrifices in audio quality, particularly every noise we make, even our farts and our, those kind of noises, those are going to be in the episode. We're going to try to edit some of that white noise out in post, but so you know, that's what's going on. Now, Dan, for a long time, people have had a question that they've needed to be answered because, Moment Ago Studios has grown since our inception around February or March this year. We've been around for a long time now.
We sure have, Lars.
And we've had many different shows, and one of those shows has been away for a while. And so people have been asking the question, what question have they been asking, Dan?
Where in the world is
Carlos San Diego?
He's here today. Carlos, how are you doing today?
Excellent. It's good to be back.
So, we mentioned this in the last episode. Basically, it's been about 3 months since Classics with Carlos, and there have been intense contract negotiations. Now, of course, Carlos's lawyers have been beating up mine. I don't even have lawyers. I can't even say the word right. I think it's pronounced lawyers. I say lawyer.
Liar.
Yeah.
In the South.
So, and we mentioned this in the last episode. Carlos said, I'm not coming on for less than $300 million. That's what he said. And I said, I can't do that. And I pushed the link out, I put it out on Patreon, and people raised it, and we got the $300 million, and we got Carlos.
It's a tough deal. I was really considering not doing it, but here I am.
So I posted a link on Patreon, and of course the lovely fuckers on our Patreon, they raised $300 million in 2 days.
I can't believe it.
2 days, and it's Patreon, so who knows how much of it I'll get at the end of the month when I get the payment, but I've already given Carlos $300 million, so I would say I'm in the red a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But you're here, and how many episodes is $300 million paying for?
About 2 seconds of one, but
2 seconds of one episode, so we already are in debt. Yeah, so season 2 of Classics with Carlos, we're recording What Up Eugene now, and then Dan's going to go home, and we're going to record Classics with Carlos, all of the new mics. Very excited.
Hear about the classics, the non-Eugene.
The non-Eugene show.
That's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
That's what some people call this show.
The non-Eugene. Some people say, hey, are those guys from Springfield? Because they don't talk about Eugene very often.
See, that's a referential. What are we, a bunch of cottage Grovians over in this room? This little room?
could always be worse.
I'd like to say no. Now, let's move into our, really, the only segment that matters on this show.
the peer-reviewed beer review.
Alright, so here's the deal. We're doing seasonal this year. This today, it's like September 28th-ish. We're getting towards the end of the month. It's almost October. So we have Ace Pumpkin Cider. We saw pumpkin beer too. We almost got it. We didn't want to have too much pumpkin.
Fair enough, yeah.
So we're sitting in the dark. Hard to tell.
We're sitting down on the floor.
Right. The chairs were squeaking a lot.
The
in these
chairs
mics,
were very
so
squeaky.
we're doing a no chair situation.
This bad boy has 5% alcohol.
It's got a pumpkin on the thing. It says Ace on a pumpkin. It's kind of like a playing card with a pumpkin.
It says ideal for Halloween and Thanksgiving, which is traditionally cider time. Enjoy.
Now, is this pumpkin spice or is this just pumpkin flavored?
It's
It's
pumpkin
just
hard
pumpkin,
cider.
yeah.
Pumpkin hard cider. So I guess we're gonna go for our first sip here.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, that's weird. I think that's pumpkin spice.
That's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Like, that's really enjoyable.
You really don't notice the taste while you're sipping it, so you can kind of just drink most of it. You can kind of chug through it. Oh.
The aftertaste.
Yeah. Oh, it's like rotting eggs, but with pumpkin instead. There's just this flavor that fills your mouth.
I mean, I don't
It's
know.
not terrible.
I don't know, guys. I think this is, like, actually pretty good.
Look at you. You're blushing. You like it so much.
He's in love
He's
with it.
like, guys.
Guys, don't make fun of it.
We're all cross-legged here. We're like, oh.
I mean, if you taste it like in the back of your mouth, like you definitely get more of a pumpkin taste. It definitely tastes more savory than sweet, like you'd expect from a cider.
I'm gonna go in for my second sip here. So Carlos, here's how we do things here. Oh, I'm saying here a lot. We have a rating system. I do 0 to 300 stars. I do that because Dan does the graphic design, peer-reviewed.beerreview.tumblr.com, and he has to do a graphic with 300 stars in it, so it really annoys him.
300 stars, huh?
They're very tiny stars.
He says, you could do 2.87 out of 3, and I say, no, it's 287 stars. No beer's ever gotten that high of a review.
No.
Dan does between 0 and 5 Lars, and it is just a picture of my face. He just does that.
You kind of look like an anime character.
I do a little bit in that.
It's because the glasses don't have any, like, it doesn't have your eyes or anything.
So, just the reflection?
Yeah, it's like an outline.
That's pretty good, yeah. He just has to, like, tilt him up on his nose and kind of, like, look down so you can see his eyes.
Oh, that's all it's missing.
What's that guy from Bleach? I learned it from him. He does the shine.
I forget
the
his
bow
name.
guy.
I have no clue. Bleach sucks anyway, so.
Wow, hold on. So, every guest who comes on has to rate a drink with their own rating system they make up on the spot. We've had a lot of different ones. We had one person do 8 out of 10 dead Game of Thrones characters, which was awful for Dan because he has not watched Game of Thrones and he had to make the graphic.
It's upsetting.
He did. It was a very accurate graphic. It was incredible.
Our last guest, Cass, she rated it. How did she rate it?
I don't know. I haven't finished editing the episode.
It was really confusing. It was like basically marzipan crumbs in a German basket.
Oh my god, that's right. That's what she did. She did 1.2 marzipan crumbs out of a full German basket of marzipan. We had marzipan on that episode. It was spoilers, not good.
Well, if they listen to the episode, as they should.
In order, if you're listening in order, you already know that this is not a marzipan themed show.
Now listen, Carlos, don't be swayed by Lars's ways.
No,
numerical's the way to go, my friend.
You can do any. Well, there's a lot of editings. There's a lot of options, really. One person did cookies. They rated one beer a peanut butter cookie. They rated a different beer a pink frosted cookie. That was a very personal, opinion-based rating system.
That seems a little odd for the cookies, but...
Well, I would say the peanut butter cookie was very accurate. I would say the pink frosted cookie was not accurate at all.
Interesting. But I could just give it a plain, like, number system, too, if I wanted?
Yeah.
You could,
that sounds so good.
But it should be a number, but it should still be blank out of blank, though. If it's going to be 7 out of 10, it could be 7 out of 10 archers or something. It could be anything.
7 out of 10 archers, yeah. For sure. I'd give this cider probably like 4.5 shots out of 10.
Out of 10 shots. Okay, that's pretty good.
I like that one.
So he was going on board with this, but 4.5 out of 10 is not a good score.
Well,
that's a pretty pissed score.
I mean, I've had some really bad alcohol, and this is like, it's good enough to not be in like a bad category, but at the same time, it's a cider you expect it to be like either really sweet or like have a spice to it. I feel like this isn't too sweet. I also feel like it isn't spicy enough. Like you'd want a pumpkin spice cider because that would be good. But instead, it's just like it's almost like bland. There's not enough flavor. It's more cider, not enough pumpkin.
I agree.
I'm sitting here and I'm really not sure what the flavor of this is. I think it might be pumpkin spice flavored because I don't really think it tastes like pumpkin. But there's like a little bit of pumpkin, and there's a lot of like this sour that's kind of just I think what you get from having a cider.
To me it tastes like they just took an apple cider or a very base cider,
right,
added pumpkin spice, and that's why it doesn't feel full flavored pumpkin spice. It just you taste it and it's there and then it sticks there, but just on the tip of your tongue.
It's like a very bright green apple cider. Like
yeah,
something else.
Like if you could imagine you drinking this beer, you take a drink, and you kind of like if you were to swish it around your mouth for a little bit and then swallow it, it's gonna taste like a really light cider, an apple cider. That's been like watered down. It's not very strong. Like it's still pleasant, but you wouldn't spend like $10 for the 6-pack.
I did spend $10 for the 6-pack.
And then at the end, well, no, okay. So it's too light at the front. In the middle, it ends up being like it's not spicy enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, it's like the pumpkin is barely there. You can just taste it.
I just realized we never think enough about Lars' feelings because the majority of the time he's the one paying for the beer.
Yeah.
And with that 10 cents deposit, which is actually great when you return it. And
I don't return bottles. I just let the homeless alley guy take care of that for me.
I personally really like the 10-cent return because people who don't return it, whatever that money goes to the state or whatever.
Yeah.
And the people who do, you get your money back. So I hate when people complain because you can just get the money right back.
Well, you have to go to the bottle return places.
Which isn't bad at all, actually.
Yeah, I think it's fine. But we get that complaint because you can only do 24 bottles where I work, right? Which is not a lot if you're buying 6-packs or like a 12-pack of soda.
The real drawback to that, though, is that a lot of the alcohol, at least that I buy, you can't return. Like, I think it's Strongbow, you can't return any, and you also can't do Guinness. And
is it just at the store you go to? Because I'm sure at the bottom.
It's like every store that I've went to, but I mean, I could.
Are you going to the store or the bottle depository?
Yeah.
Because the place you go to return all the bottles, they take the majority of the if
they're charging 10 cents, they should fucking take it.
Yeah. No, but it's awesome. It's and what's great is there's the whole what's the word? The stigma of being like bottle returning. It's like it's for the homeless, it's for the poor. When I was there, like everyone wants that 10 cents back.
Oh yeah, I mean when I was a kid,
saw like middle class like housewives with their kids like there as much as the homeless people.
Well, I remember I was very confused to work at a store and find out they would only do back then it was $1.20, but 24 cans are $2.40 now. I don't know if it's I guess the law changed that so they have the bottle return place, which helps the stores out. But when I was a kid, we went to the Safeway up on Donald Street there, and we would save our bottles for a month or two, or our soda cans, right?
Yeah.
And then I would return all of them, and then I got to keep the $10. So it was like a nice way to earn some money, while everyone else went shopping. And then it never seemed like really a bad thing, but only I would never do that for $1.20. Are you kidding me? I'd rather die.
There's no way.
Choke on a soda can.
It was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It was like 5 cents before, right? When you tried to return anything.
Yeah, it was 5 cents.
Yeah, so it's like you could return not even the max, and you get like nothing back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so because the max 24 cans was $1.20, so you had to bring at least 20 cans to get $1, but you could barely get over $1.
Yeah, that's really weak.
Yeah, I never even really cared to return until it became 10 cents. I'm like, sure, why not? Like my friends and I, we can buy like a new game on Xbox for all us to play.
Sure, yeah, if you're saving them. So here's how I feel about this beer. I am drinking it. I will finish it. It's not like a cucumber sour. It doesn't taste bad. It does have a generic cider taste, so if you drink it quickly, it's fine. I don't think I would spend money on it. We'll probably finish the other three because we have them.
Oh, yeah,
we have
absolutely.
other drinks to rate. So I don't think I would ever buy this again. And if someone handed it to me and it was sealed and there were other drinks at the party, I would probably go for another drink first. But it is alcohol. It's not terrible alcohol. I would drink it as long as it didn't cost me money. 50 out of 300 stars.
50.
I gotta say, both reviews you guys gave are pretty accurate.
Yeah.
This is very subpar. The one thing I will give it is, October's coming up. I love Halloween. And
Absolutely.
He's feeling it.
And I feel like I'm drinking this, and I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna be for Halloween? Like, I can see myself in costume drinking this and just embracing the basic bitchness of the season. And 2.5 out of 5 Lars.
That's
2.5.
That's pretty
Okay,
good.
yeah. So yeah, all of us are like almost half except for Lars because he has 300 stars.
Yeah.
My scale's
Yeah.
weird.
Speaking of the cucumber sour, though, I just want to touch on this real quick. I actually ended up trying it a couple months ago. I have to say it's way better when it's cold, but once it gets warm, it's like the worst thing I've ever had.
Did you try the Crush one or the
Crush
Sun-Made?
one.
Okay, because I've never tried the Sun-Made. I thought the Crush one was so gnarly. I think it was cold when I had it. It's fine. It's just like a generic sour, and then there's a cucumber aftertaste, and they're not related at all.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm telling you, dude, when you have it warm,
I can only imagine. That's so much.
It's
warm
so bad.
Cucumber. Let's move into our next segment because we did spend some time on
Yeah,
that.
well-
really, the final note is that I'm glad we didn't buy the pumpkin spice beer as well, because that would suck to have 12 drinks that no one wants to drink.
No.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had those brown stink bugs in your house?
I went on the Eugene subreddit and I saw they were talking about stink bugs all over the place.
That's not even okay. That's honestly not even why I brought it up, because in my own personal life, our house is getting fucking like
swarmed.
We're swarmed with those. They're called brown marmorated stink bugs, and they're like an invasive species, and they're a bitch. They're everywhere. They're at my parents' house in Veneta. They're at we just moved. They're at our new place in Southwest Eugene, and I'm talking like they're like creeping into the house.
I got 0 in here so far. I may have a mice problem. I'm not positive yet. 0 stink bugs.
I feel like one of those is a lot worse than the other.
Yeah, the mice don't smell.
Fair enough.
I really don't mind them. I take at least, how many mice do you have?
Well, here's the deal.
Is it 3 blind mice?
I like earlier in the year I killed like 6 or 7 mice, and then it seemed to be all of them. No more came in for a while, and I've had the traps out. I mean, they're hidden now because I didn't want to freak you guys out with my mouse traps everywhere. I had them out for about a week and a half, and have had no catches. Although I feel like I had 2 misfires. I found 2 different times a trap that fired with no mouse in it, but so far I've had nothing. Except for one time, I'm pretty sure I heard that fucker squeaking, and I saw it. Like, I saw the mouse, he ran out, and then ran back, and I was like, oh, I should buy some mouse traps. But since then, the mouse traps have done nothing, and I haven't seen them, so I may have just hallucinated that shit.
I mean, how late was it? Did you, like, get up pretty late, or what time of day was it?
I was like 8 o'clock. He just, like, the mice, after they've lived with me for long enough, they'll just get brave.
True.
They'll just come
there you
out.
Go.
You guys have a rabbit. What does the rabbit think of it?
Oh, well, he avoids my room. He's well-trained in that regard. Also, he only speaks Spanish, so I tried to talk to him about it, and I don't get, I'm like, Habla rabbit, I don't get it.
Habla rabbit.
0 English.
Habla rabbit? You don't even know what rabbit is in
Do you
Spanish? 'Cause I
speak
don't.
rabbit?
Yeah, no, I don't know that. That's
Do you think that the stink bugs could be because of the fire?
I did read, what did I read? I read on the Reddit that it was related to weather, and it was like a unique situation, and I don't know, it might have been the fire. Maybe the fire scared him out of the forest or something.
I wouldn't be surprised, like, we had that fire for what, like, isn't it still going on, actually? It's been like a
there were
month.
like 30 fires. It was crazy.
I actually have a friend who fought in it and is still fighting in it, and we're going to have him on as a guest later to talk about it, because he was straight up in the fire at Crater Lake, all that jazz. But the stink bug, though, I want to say, I was reading up on it because I was trying to understand it. I want to understand my enemy, the brown marmorated stink bug. And like OSU actually has on their official website, you fill out a form to let them know where they are, because it's like a serious issue. They decimate crops and stuff in Oregon.
Oh, damn.
And they do it every year, but this year is especially bad. And other things I read about it was, one, if it goes in your house, it's not there to like lay eggs or do anything weird. It's like they're specifically hiding out for the winter. They're just like they'll just go inside, find a place, and hang out there till winter's over. So they don't do anything else. They don't bite.
I mean, you probably should still get rid of them, though.
Yeah. No, you definitely should.
Especially because they're like a pest, so it's like you might as well just kill them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying definitely kill them, but like you don't have to worry about them like laying eggs in your ears at night or anything. So if you see one inside, just like those things, they stink. They smell like rotten cucumbers or something weird. Huh. Have you crushed one?
I know. I've not actually. I've not had this problem. I've run into 0 stink bugs. I wouldn't say in my entire life, but certainly in the last week.
Dude, our house is like infested with them.
Well, maybe you shouldn't move.
I think I've seen one in my house so far. That's about it.
One other fun fact: I studied up on these things. Okay.
You did your research.
Let me speak my piece.
Speak your piece.
Their natural enemy is actually this. They're called minute wasps. And what they do is they find an egg. They find like an egg sac or whatever for these stink bugs. Lay their eggs in it, and like their babies basically kill theirs and then hatch out of theirs.
Oh yeah, okay.
And these wasps don't even sting people, so these wasps are only
hooking it up.
Yeah.
Speaking of like wasps and bees and stuff, I think it's like a type of fungus or something that like grows like. If it's consumed by like another insect, it actually like takes control of its brain and like grows out of it like a tree.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
It's pretty that's creepy as hell.
Apparently, it has different variations for like a lot of different species of ants, and there's an idea that it could possibly be genetically engineered for most things, including maybe people. Maybe
that's
people.
creepy.
Who
That's
knows,
the ant that basically like it crawls up to the highest point
Yeah,
so that a bird eats it, and then when the bird eats it, it poops out the parasite, which is consumed by an animal or another bug, and then it repeats the process.
Yep.
That's creepy as hell.
So, Dan,
Yeah.
you have a criticism, an honest, I would say, you've got a grievance that you would like to air,
Mm-hmm.
and that is against KEZI and their unethical social media practices. And we are going to call them out here because this is a Eugene-related,
They're on trial.
Eugene tangential podcast.
Yeah.
We record this podcast in Eugene, so.
Hey, those stink bugs. Listen. We have all 3,000 of our listeners they're relating right now because they're having the same stink bug problem. Except for you. Like, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. I
That's,
don't think there's anything in this triplex that they.
there's no comforts
I
here.
lived in this triplex, and there's no comfort here
There's
for any
no
bugs.
comforts.
That's just for the mice. But yeah,
for the
KZI. So what they've been doing is, for the past few weeks, I've noticed they keep posting these like listicle articles like top 5 ways to save money at the grocery store, like on their news site, and it's confusing because they're supposed to be a news site and they're posting from websites called don'twasteyourmoney.com, I think like Simple Most or Simple Best, and they're all just basically like tips for people to save money or beat the heat and stuff.
They're like totally unrelated to Eugene, right?
Yeah. What's funny is like these they're the dumbest articles, but no one's complaining like they do on any other article. Any other article they say like this isn't real news. KZI, you don't know how to report. But when it comes to these like reposted articles, no one complains.
Maybe
It's
the
bizarre.
comments are like disabled and there's just a couple bot comments.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Another thing too is like people want to save money, so it's like it's a lot different than like some random article that doesn't save you money.
But it's not their own work. They're reposting it from a website.
Speaking of interesting things, it's time to go to the break. And welcome back. That was some kind of break music, which we have not decided at this point in the editing process. We're just going to jump right into it with another copy of
The peer-reviewed beer review.
So Dan, would you tell us what beer we're drinking? It's a seasonal one. It's in the Deschutes. Can you read it in the? We have the lights turned off.
But aren't they all seasonal, Lars? This is Deschutes Hopzeit Autumn IPA, traditional Marzen beer inspired India Pale Ale.
I would say that we're not sponsored by Deschutes, but they do make better beer than the other people who sometimes we drink beer from. So we drink them fairly often.
Guys, we got a 7% alcohol on our hands.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
This
Okay.
is 7% on
7%.
this. Damn.
We spent a little bit of time in the last beer one, so let's hop through this review.
Ha.
It's really bitter.
I like that. It's hard to know if I like that or if I hated the last thing we drank.
We probably should have like cleansed our palate with
Probably.
something. Hold on, let me get another sip of this.
I don't think this is my favorite Deschutes IPA. I don't think it's my favorite IPA. I think it's fine. It's kind of generic. It's kind of bland. Has that sort of copper taste that sometimes you get with IPAs, but you don't always get.
Actually, I don't know. I kind of switched it around in my mouth for a little bit. I kind of like breathed into my nose, got that flavor. It definitely evokes a feeling of autumn, like when you actually get that flavor, because it tastes light. There's specific spices you can kind of taste in this. It's like
these Deschutes beers definitely grow on me. The last one I didn't like as much when we started, and when the episode was over and I had another one out of the fridge a couple days later, it was phenomenal. So
there's also some kind of fruit in this. Maybe it has like a fruity taste to it. I don't know.
it does, yeah. You know what? This is pretty good. What are your thoughts, Dan? How do you feel? You're not really an IPA guy.
No, this is dark. This is almost like a stout to me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on my palate. It's just really incredibly bitter to me.
Just like breathing this, switch it around, and like breathing through your nose while you drink this like it's wine, and you can get more of a flavor out of it.
That's how you do it? Okay.
Are you gonna stick to your same rating system, Carlos, out of 10 shots, or are you gonna mix it up?
No, you should stay the same.
Usually,
I'm gonna say the same.
Some people mix it up.
I'm not
They do,
that
and you
creative.
like to encourage it, and I don't appreciate it.
This is definitely more flavorful than the last one.
There is actually, I will say, when you leave it in your mouth, there is a lot going on. If you drink it really quick, there's not.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it the same with like a lot of beers? Like,
well, yeah, I mean
you chug
IPAs
it?
in general, but this does evoke some pretty powerful emotions, I'd say.
I would probably give this like at least a 6.
6 out of 10 shots.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a pretty good rating.
What emotions is this invoking in you, Lars? Do you have some demons you want to tell us on the podcast?
It's making me think I'm gonna have to pee in the next 30 minutes. So.
You gotta get the poison out.
Well, the last 2 episodes have ended with me having to pee really bad.
That is quite true.
But I peed during the break this time, and I don't often do that. And that is because of these lavalier mics. Way easier. No mic stands in the way. I just got right up and went to the bathroom. We all did. At the same time.
How convenient is lavalier mic, sponsored by Movo. If you're on Amazon and you need a cheap lapel mic, Movo.
So there's a lot of $40 lapel mics on Amazon. Why did I pick these ones? I watched some reviews. They sounded pretty good. Obviously, it depends on how quiet you can get the room. But they had the option to get them new for $40 or used in like-new condition for $27, and that's what I did.
Hey, I don't blame you.
I didn't have $120 for mics, you know. And the thing is, it said like-new when it was like without a box, but these all came with a box. I'm tempted to believe these are just brand new ones. Like maybe they didn't have enough used ones in the warehouse. Oh, excuse me, that was fun.
Hey, if you're on Amazon and I'm a believer in the used and new section or like new section, because if you're gonna get board games on Amazon, go to the used section, because no one's gonna sell board games missing pieces on Amazon because they don't want their score to go down. So
Well, unless they're like horrible people.
Yeah, but
that
Amazon
don't care.
returns are so easy. I have like 6 different things I got last week that I didn't really like, so I'm returning all of them. And like, yeah, even though the shipping is free, I think you have to pay like $5 to return ship it. But it's really pretty minimal considering, you know, like that's everything. Like, I got it for free in 2 days, didn't like it, it cost me $5. I just walk. The UPS store is like a couple blocks away. It's really not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm so mad at UPS.
Yeah, Carlos does not like UPS. We'll say that on there.
what do you give this star-wise, Lars?
Oh, you're asking me. Okay, well let me do another mouth swish.
We know Carlos gives this a hard 6 out of 10.
I'll give it the 5 S's. I thought it was like a soft 6.
It's a soft 6, but it is a 6.
It is a
regardless.
6.
He's got a soft 6 for you.
Much like when you're in a bar. It is
Oh,
a 6.
you almost spat it out. I'll tell you what I'm
That was
going
one
to
of
give
the
this.
better jokes I've heard today.
I'm going to give this 2 out of 5 Lars, because I don't know, I can't taste all these flavor notes you guys are talking about.
Well, do me one favor. Take a sip, swish it for like 3 or 4 seconds.
Like a mouthful?
No, like you're swishing, what is it called? Mouthwash. And then you smell the beer as you're doing that? No, like from the bottle.
You know what? After I did that,
Yeah.
2 out of 5 Lars.
Well, I'm gonna
now I just wash my teeth with this.
I'm gonna
That's
give
fine.
you 3 out of 5 Lars for trying something new.
Thank you.
And you can put that in the peer-reviewed.tumblr.com.
I'm not going to unless we get 5 subscribers.
Anyone or not. Here's what I'm gonna give this beer. You ready for this? This is what I'm gonna give it.
We're waiting.
I guess I can drum roll since these lectures are
150 out of 300 stars, which is a very nice, easy score for you to edit.
Wait, what are you getting?
Yeah.
150 out of 300.
You're giving a half, huh?
Half. Yeah. I mean, that's much better than I gave the other one. And so my scale is not. I've never given something 300. I've given a couple things maybe 250. I don't do high reviews because the idea is like a 300 stars is like the nicest drink I've ever had. And because it's 300 of them, you know, even if you only get 10 stars, you don't have to say what it's out of. 10 stars is a great review.
Yeah, exactly.
So 150 stars is a crazy good review. But yeah, it's about a half.
Dang, that's really upsetting.
It's not the best Deschutes beer I've had. It's not the best IPA. It's fine. It does have some flavors. It is an IPA. It's better than... I invented this because there was an IPA I had, which I gave 0 out of 300 stars. It was fucking terrible.
0?
That's why I was like, it's 0 out of, and I picked a huge number.
Dang. What was it? Or what did you have?
I don't remember. It was so bad. I think it's from one of the pilot episodes of the show, so we can look it up and find out, but it was fucking terrible.
So I gotta say, this is my first time being on the show.
Yeah. You
probably reviewed a few beers between this one and any other show that you do.
Sure.
What would you say is the best, hands-down drink that you've ever had?
You know what? And I'm not just saying it because it's the only one I remember the name of. Reverend Nat's cider.
Yeah.
Dan brought it on. It is the first sip. You're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I like this. It kind of tastes like a wine, but the more you sip it, it is so easy to drink. It is one of the easiest to drink things, and it tastes good. It doesn't taste bad. It's a cider. I mean, we went through 2 pretty big bottles in like 5 minutes.
It's the smoothest cider I've ever had.
It was incredible, and it doesn't taste bad. The only downside to it is that it is like $6 or $7 for a 16-ouncer. It's like,
Damn.
it's not a cheap drink, and
No.
I get that expensive drinks taste better. I understand that, but
Now, see, here's the thing, though, is, like, I love cider. Cider is probably my favorite drink when it comes to, like, non-hard alcohol. But I like it to have, like, a sharpness to it. I feel like if it's too smooth, I'd rather just have a wine.
well, and it did have like it did have that kind of bright higher end that you expect. I hate when you get a cider and it's really dull and it's. So it did have kind of a brightness, but it was really easy to drink. It was perfect. You try Reverend Nats, you'll go, oh my god, that's perfect.
Well,
Carlos, I'm going to go on a limb here. You prefer Coca-Cola over Pepsi.
100% true.
That's right, and you probably brush your teeth with Colgate.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that's because I have this theory on Pepsi and Colgate and Coca-Cola and Crest.
Wait,
What?
so,
Tell me about
but
this.
you picked them as Colgate and not.
Well, no, I did.
So is it Pepsi?
So
is Pepsi and
Pepsi
Colgate?
is to Crest, in my theory. Pepsi is to Crest as Colgate is to Coca-Cola, and
Okay,
it's
I see.
because not only Coca-Cola has a strong bite as Colgate. Yeah, Colgate, Crest and Pepsi are both sweeter.
Yep, and I don't like the sweet.
That's right. They're a little too sweet and foamy.
Interesting.
And also the colors. Think of the colors. Pepsi is red, blue, and white, right? Much like Crest, and then Coca-Cola and Colgate are primarily red and white.
Oh.
Wow.
Now-
this is breaking down the American people.
Dude,
one step at a
right.
time.
What are you doing
That's
here?
right. He looks amazed. Now there's wild cards out there like Lars,
Okay.
who either don't care enough what their toothpaste or what they're drinking, or they they get whatever they're.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Steelhead root beer, hands down. I mean, I'll drink other sodas. I'm a Dr. Pepper man, but if I'm picking a soda out, Steelhead root beer.
Okay, hold on. You might be an Arm & Hammer or Sensodyne guy.
I am. I'm a Sensodyne Pronamel.
Well, check this out.
Yeah,
See
my teeth
that?
are-
See
Yeah,
that?
there it is, dude.
I can tell what you like to
This-
drink or what you like to brush with based on one or the other.
I will
This
say,
is
I
an
don't
exact
like, I
science.
didn't originally like the taste of Sensodyne, but the commercials convinced me, and since then, the taste has grown on me.
I used to like Mentident, I think it was called. It comes in a giant pump.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
No?
I've never.
No.
Do
What are you talking about?
Do you accidentally masturbate with it?
No, it's that poor life, yo.
Get that minty feel, dude.
Hey, speaking of Eugene, did you guys hear the South Eugene girls varsity soccer team took a knee during the game? So I say, cheers to them.
Oh yeah, good for them. Now let me ask you, was that controversial?
It was very controversial. As you know, we get many of our news from KZI's Facebook page.
Oh, I thought we just got our listicles from them.
We just get our listicles. And, of course, there were some people who were pissed, and they were pissed that some varsity soccer girls were taking a knee. And, in fact, one commenter had this to say. You'll edit this more closely.
I love when we call out people's comments on the show. We don't do it too often. It's a highlight for me.
But you gotta like say their first name and then just have a random sound for
honest-
their last name.
I
so
just
like,
copy and pasted. They
You're
said
like Beth said.
they basically and go. So one commenter on Twitter reposted the image in the article saying, because rich South Eugene girls, white girls, wow, actually says, because rich South Eugene girls, white girls, know so much about police brutality, and that's pretty fucking stupid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
First of all,
an intelligent comment.
many poor people go to South Eugene. Just because it's in South doesn't mean it's also. It's like just the high school.
Yeah.
Like it's that or North, and I'd rather die.
And I hear, and the article also said, in addition to that, there's one comment that was removed because someone made it sexual, because there were girls taking
Taking
knee.
knees.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, I can't believe people are commenting to this shit.
Can't believe people are sexualizing like a high school cheerleader. So
Like-
soccer players. I forgot which one.
Yeah,
they
and then
did.
they actually issued an apology, and it was one of those like, I have to apologies. They're like,
Nice.
I have to completely apologize. I had no idea that the internet is a public space and my name was online.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
an idiot. I mean, personally, I have a different view from most people, which is I don't think it matters whether or not they take a knee.
Mhm.
I think that you should have the liberty to do whatever you want to do because it's America. I understand that, like, some people would be like, oh, well, it's un-American to not stand up because you have the freedom to even be there doing this thing, so you should stand up for the flag.
Yeah.
But it's like I also believe that you have liberty. You should be able to do what you want without other people getting in your way. But then, at the same time, people taking a knee isn't really going to do anything. And
well, it gets people to notice, though, you know?
It gets people to notice, but a majority of those people are either A, just taking a knee with them and doing not what they're trying to do, or pissing someone off. So I feel like ultimately you taking a knee isn't going to prevent someone from being killed or harmed.
I mean, I agree it wouldn't, like, prevent someone from being killed, but I think it's good for exposure, and I think, like, even when it's done on, like, a local level like this, like, I think when the whole, what was it, Charlottesville, the statue thing happened, U of O kind of blew up, and students on a local level were protesting. I think there was some hall that was named after a race, like a former slavery owner or a guy who was racist. Or
little A, little B, probably somewhere.
We do lots of research, but anyway, yeah. And you know, on one hand, you could see it as people get on the bandwagon. But on the other hand, I think their intentions are good.
Well, let's
Intentions are good, but actions are always better.
Actions are better. Carlos.
Yes.
You haven't been in the studio for, who knows, 2, 3, 7 months. It's been a
year.
while.
Who knows?
I guess I don't want to waste our precious time because we have a 30-minute time slot. We don't fuck around with that. On Classics with Carlos. Here now, I want to know what's going on, what's up with you, what the news is. I heard you went to New York. That's fucking crazy. Your girlfriend moved in with you. There's a lot of shit, and I want you to break that down in like 5 minutes.
It's going to be pretty hard. Okay, so I'm going to start from the beginning. Got up pretty late at night, took the plane all the way to New York. It's a fine ride. I thought I was going to die when I got to New York because the pilot decided to tip the plane so the wing almost like touched the ground. If it would have, I just would have like died instantly.
Are we talking LaGuardia?
No, it was JFK.
JFK, okay.
Yeah. So I got picked up, went over to the house. We spent we didn't even go to the house. We went to her grandma's house.
Sure.
Stayed there for a night, and then...
Now, is this the Big Apple, or is it... Where is this?
This is not Manhattan, but Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, okay.
Then we went from Brooklyn to Mount Sinai, which is in Long Island.
Oh, sure.
Then we drove from Long Island all the way here. Now, it was pretty fun, and it was also, like, there's a lot of parts that wasn't so fun. Not that it was bad, but it's just
Now, do you drive? Do you have a driver's license?
I do not.
You do not. Who was it with you? Was it just your girlfriend? You and your girlfriend?
It was my girlfriend and her mom.
And her mom, okay. So they took shifts and you just got the whole time, not like co-pilot?
Yeah.
That's the way to do a road trip.
I mean, I was co-pilot the entire time, but the drawback to that is like
no
my girlfriend is an excellent driver, but her mom is pretty her mom is pretty keen on saying, "Oh, you made a mistake. Okay, now you're in trouble, and like I want to drive now."
Oh, jeez.
And the thing is, like, Bella has never once, at least to my knowledge, seen a one-way before coming like to the Midwest.
Oh yeah, fun fact.
So we were like driving out of the parking lot, and there was a one-way going from our left to the right, and then there was like one of those concrete like island things separating the two streets. And then on the other one was a right to left. And we were trying to go to right to left, but she ended up going into opposing traffic. Luckily enough for us, there was no cars coming except for one way down the line. So we didn't end up getting hurt or anything. But her mom instantly was like, "Oh my God, we're going to get like hit and everything like that." So
I've been on road trips like that. You make one mistake and everyone gets on your case.
Yeah, exactly. It's so bad.
You kill one member of the party. No, okay, fun Eugene-related fact. I have not verified this, but I was told once that Eugene was the first ever city in America with one-ways, and that's why it's so fucked up, because they didn't know what they were doing. They just threw them everywhere. They were like, "Oh, this is cool. Let's just do 300 of them."
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised,
because they did not do it well.
I've seen more one-ways here than I've seen in any city, and I have to say, like, once you get used to one-ways, it's fine. But if you've never experienced it before, it is like hell on earth.
Well, it's not. I think if you're used to them, it's not fine because it's this fucking nightmare of like, oh shit, like okay. For instance, the buy and sell center's on Mill, and we always forget that because they moved.
The what? Sorry.
The buy and sell center, the like used guitar shop.
Oh, the used
It's on
guitar
Mill
shop,
Street,
okay.
and like no one knows where Mill Street is, so you always think it's gonna be on High Street, and then you're a block early, and it's like 11th. It's on Mill and 11th, and 11th's a one-way going the wrong direction, so you have to go back up to like fucking 12th. You have to do like this whole goddamn 2-block loop to get to the.
Yep.
And it's that way with so much stuff. If you miss it by a block, you have
Yeah.
to do a fucking loop.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even people that have lived here forever, or have lived here for a couple years, they still mess it up. Like, my roommate Josh, you've heard about him on Classics Carlos.
I have.
We were driving from downtown, which is, there's only one two-way in downtown, which is the main road of Willamette Street. But the problem is that once you go south from the center of downtown, it starts to turn into like one road. But what ended up happening is he decided to take a right on a one-way where it was opposing traffic, and there was traffic coming toward us. So it was like, whoa, yeah. I was like, this is a mistake. You're not driving again.
So, were you in New York for like a day? How long were you in New York for?
So after I flew there, I landed. I was probably in New York for 2 days, maybe a day and a half.
Were you ever in the Big Apple or?
Yeah, I mean, we stopped through there,
Jeez.
but we didn't like we drove through there. We didn't stop. But I've been in New York before, and I've been to the Big Apple.
Oh, you've been before? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you visited Bella before, right?
twice. Yeah, so I think I've been to New York a total of 3 times.
That's good enough. That's better than me, for sure. And that's kind of, you've just been working overtime since then. Just
Yeah, I mean, the road
slaving
trip.
away for the man.
The road trip was really fun, though, aside from, like, the mishaps and stuff. I actually have a really good story about one of the hotels we stayed at.
You're thinking you want to share it now? Let's share it now.
Okay, so yeah.
Give it to me.
It's actually
We'll
pretty
edit
close
some
to...
bullshit out.
It's pretty close to Oregon, actually. It was in Idaho, in a town called Meridian.
Meridian?
Yeah, if you go there, do not stay at Mr. Sandman Hotel.
Yeah, I would never... Are you kidding?
So...
That sounds like a place you get raped at.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure worse has happened there, so...
This guy sprinkles chemicals in your eyes at night.
Well, see, the funny thing
Oh,
is...
no.
So it's separated into 2 buildings. This is the main building, which is really nice, and in front of the main building is like the smaller one, and it's a little run down looking. Like
And
it's
that's
still
the one
like
with the vacancy sign.
yeah. So
Just like blinking.
so Bella's mom stayed in the nicer part of the hotel, and Bella and I stayed in like the really bad one.
Wow, shit moved, Bella's mom.
So we end up going in through the front. It has like a card key, so you expect it to be safe.
Yeah.
So we take a left from the entrance, and the room next to ours, that door is boarded up for whatever reason. So first off, that's like a big warning sign. Like, okay, something happened in that room, or there's like maybe mold or something. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of shady. So we walk in the room. It's like fine at first glance, right? It's like a bed. You have a bathroom. Like it's totally fine. Well, we go over because I walk over to the window because it's like really hot in the room. The lock, it was unlocked, and the lock was broken, so anyone could have walked in there at any time.
That's how the Sandman gets in.
Yeah, the Sandman, dude. Okay, so then I tell Bella, I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of bad, but I guess there's no signs of anyone being in here. I turn to the right, and I see like the wall on the bottom half was kind of scratched up. Now, either someone was moving something and it, like, damaged the wall in a really weird pattern, or someone was, like, my theory is, like, someone was scratching at the wall. I don't know. Like, that was really weird. But then I turn around, and we go to turn on the TV. And it has a sign that says, like, this TV only works on this premises. If you take it out, then it doesn't work. Okay.
What?
That's a lie.
Yeah.
There's no TV that does that.
It's got like a GPS chip in it.
Yeah, so we turn on the TV, and I think there's only like one channel that worked on it,
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, this TV sucks anyway.
It doesn't even work on the
What they meant was
premises.
it doesn't work at all.
Yeah. But
If
then
you take this TV, it's still broken.
so then I looked up at the smoke alarm, and it was covered by plastic. So it's like if some sort of gas, like sleeping gas, or anything else is like released in the room, like that smoke alarm ain't going off, dude. Someone's coming in your room after.
That's how the
Yeah.
Sandman gets you.
No,
And
that's
then,
how you smoke in an apartment.
yeah, and so then what ends up happening is we look at the telephone, it was like, okay, it can dial the room service or it can dial 911. When we picked up the phone, it just didn't have a sound because it just didn't work.
Oh, solid. So it's just...
Yeah, so my theory was, like, I told Bella, I'm like, okay, we can't go to sleep, because if we do, they're going to release a gas from the heater that won't set off the alarm, and they'll come in through the window and just, like, abduct us.
I mean, look, Carlos, I just feel like you didn't have to tell me not to go to a hotel called the Sandman. That's so fucked up.
Okay, but this isn't even the worst part, like...
That's not the... How does it get... Did that shit actually happen?
I mean, that was just a theory.
Okay.
But then we looked at the reviews. Okay,
Yeah.
so the reviews were pretty bad because they did the thing where, like, they pushed up all the good reviews to the top.
Yeah.
But once we got to the real reviews, like the bullshit,
Yeah.
apparently a majority of the beds had bed bugs.
Oh, gross.
So we had to check ours. Thank God it didn't have it. But
Oh my
like,
God.
yeah.
I'm looking this up right now, and I'm seeing I had to Google it, and it came up pretty fast on the autofill.
Yeah.
And you know it's holding a 3.5 on TripAdvisor,
That's not good.
but no, it's
It's not good.
3.5 is not bad, but you can definitely see it's
Not bad for a beer.
Yeah, like
There's a lot of the low star scores.
One of them just says, "Do not stay here. The reviews are misleading. This place was horrible. Our room had badly stained carpet, etc."
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely. Like, why would you? I don't understand why you would want to go there. Like Lars said, like
Like,
Mr.
it's called the
Sandman.
like, that's such an obvious, like, it's not going to be a nice place. Let's move into our next segment. Now, because these new mics are quite loud, as you surely have noticed, I hope you're not listening to this episode with headphones on. That's my nightmare.
Sorry for yelling too. I mean, I
No,
am.
well, the yelling's not as bad as the slapping your leg you keep doing, but I'm trying to be nice.
Sorry.
We've got a bucket. It's a prize wall of sorts. It's a bucket with utensils. You heard about it in the last episode. Too loud to bring into the room, for sure. But we did want to bring the bucket here. We let Carlos pick out a utensil, which is kind of like a flat spatula you might use on a grill, that he can win. And we're going into that segment now. This is the Eugene Trivia. I believe Dan has picked 5 true or false questions.
This is the Eugene Trivia Prize Bucket Challenge.
Prize bucket challenge.
Which I think it's funny that you lead with the you explained what the bucket is.
I want people to know that there is a bucket, but it's not in the room.
Well, really, the bucket is it's full of prizes, but the main thing is this is trivia about Eugene, or Oregon, or both. And this one's pretty Eugene heavy.
So I've heard true or false, correct?
This is going to be completely true or
There
false.
are 5 questions. You have to get 2 right, which is
Just
on
2.
true or false. That's a 50-50. You have to be really bad at guessing true or false.
Or just not know any.
You know,
of
But you cannot know and still have a 50% chance.
Yeah.
of every one of
Okay. Fair
these.
enough.
I'm made more nervous by true or false than multiple choice or any other forms.
Well, multiple choice, you know one of the answers is correct. I guess you know true or false, but you don't.
Yeah, but true or
It's
false,
so
they can
easy
be,
to be wrong.
but they can,
right?
yeah, it is. It's
Because you can like with multiple choice, there's usually a joke answer. So
Yeah.
you can eliminate that, and you can usually, by basic knowledge, eliminate one. So it's usually kind of a true or false, but they'll say the answer. So if you're like in the ballpark, you'll be like, oh, that one's in the ballpark. I don't know. I like true or false because I'm perfect.
all right. You ready to begin, Lars?
I'm ready to begin, Dan.
Are you ready to begin, Carlos?
As I'll ever be.
All
Are your
right.
answers locked and loaded?
Start that theme music, Lars. All right. Question 1, Carlos. I keep wanting to call you Lars. True or false? Eugene was founded by Eugene Spencer.
That is true.
False. It was Eugene Skinner.
Oh.
In 1851. You gotta watch out. They're tricky. That's one. That's one incorrect out of the 5.
Okay.
Question 2.
I'm not even sure who wants the spatula.
True or false? Eugene was the first city in the United States to use one-way streets.
Yes, that is true.
True, which is I was kind of pissed off.
Sorry, I didn't know.
I thought for sure you read my trivia earlier.
know, I hit
ahead of
percent
time.
read your
I
trivia.
couldn't believe you brought that up.
I'm so sorry.
I couldn't believe it. Okay, true.
I'm so sorry.
And in fact,
I mean, I could have forgot. So.
in fact, it was claimed that 6th Street was the first one-way conversion in 1941.
But why
1941.
though?
I have no idea. Question number 3. True or false? Oregon officially became a state on February 15th, Valentine's Day.
That is true.
Incorrect. Valentine's Day is on the 14th.
Oh my God,
Oh my
Carlos.
God, yeah.
True or false? Oregon is the only state that does not have a state nut.
How come we know?
Oh, it's really thinking this through now.
I wouldn't know that. I'd say that's false.
Do they overlap? Are there 50 different nuts?
So you're saying to this answer, Oregon is the only state that does not have a state nut. You're saying that's false.
He thinks we do.
Yeah, I think that we do, so yeah, false.
That is correct. And in fact, Oregon is the only state with a state nut.
That makes a lot
Yeah.
more sense. I was like, there's no way there's 50
Yeah.
different nuts.
Yeah, I was
All
like,
right.
I know for a fact we have a nut.
Now it looks like you're in the clear here, Carlos. We're going to
So-
ask you question number 5 anyway.
This is for 2 items.
Are you
pull a
ready?
second
You
item.
can get a second item if you get this last question.
There's another nice spatula I saw in there.
Is there like a time clock on this? Because I'll definitely get this.
No,
right.
but there's going to be some music going right now as we're talking.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna edit so much shit out. of
True
this
or
episode.
false, Carlos? Eugene households are home to the fastest spider on Earth.
That
Did
is
we not get the name
on
of the spider?
Earth. On Earth, I would say that is false.
It is actually true.
It is true. Is it a
The
wolf
giant
spider?
house spider, which is native to parts of Europe, a couple states on the East Coast, and the Pacific Northwest, including Washington and Oregon.
I would have thought it was the jumping spider.
No, the giant house spider.
giant
You know
house
the big brown kind of darkish ones you see in the corners all the time, and you're like, Jesus, that's a big spider. That's just the giant house spider, and it's not very venomous at all. It's not a danger to you. They usually run away, but it clocks in at a record of 1.73 feet per second.
Wow.
Yep.
That's kind of
fascinating.
insane.
Isn't that insane? The
Yeah.
fastest spider in the world is in like most Eugene homes.
Okay, so I got like 2.5 questions out of 5 right.
I'd call
so,
that a solid 2 spatula performance.
Yeah.
I call that. Here's one spatula. You get another one after the show.
Yeah.
Sick.
All
Good
right.
job.
Wow.
That wasn't bad.
That's pretty good. I think that's the end of the show, Dan. Let's talk about stuff. What do we have? We got social media.
We do have social media. You got whatupeugene.tumblr.com.
You got the peer-reviewed beer review. Just getting peer-reviewed beer review. There's no the in it. That URL is such bullshit. That's some bullshit.
You can also find us on Lars in the Studio
That's at Lars in the Studio on Instagram.
on Instagram. You can find me, Dan Koss, at
Dan
Dan Koss,
Koss.
Dan Koss.
Yeah, that's KOSS. You do it twice. I believe if you wanted to find Carlos, you're at the Hints, correct?
The Hensey.
Hensey. Oh, it is pronounced Hensey. Oh, I was wrong. You could have done your intro anyways.
What about your meme shitposting Instagram?
Okay, yeah, so I also have a Instagram that is also by the same name as my Facebook, which is Unpopular Aesthetic Shitposting.
Now, last time we checked in, you had hit 1,000 followers on Facebook. Where are you at right now?
Still around 1,000. I have 1,200 likes.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Slow progress, but it is progressing.
And that's
Well, the-
unpopular aesthetic
Shitposting.
shitposting.
Correct.
Yep.
Of
Or
course,
like at UAE is another one, is like the shorter version of it
Okay.
on Instagram.
Of course, if you were thinking, I hate this, you could be on SoundCloud right now and comment to that. Say, hey, I fucking hate you. Or you could email us, momentsgostudios@gmail.com. No one knows it. We have had almost 0 authentic emails. We did get an email from Carlos's girlfriend back when we were doing classes with Carlos, and that's like everything else was me and Dan emailing us.
And Mr. Schmidt, I forgot his first name.
Oh shit.
That was
Clay?
for not Clay, but his dad.
Oh, Brian.
Oh, I think that was,
Yeah,
that was a
right.
comment on SoundCloud.
That was
though.
a
It
comment
wasn't
on
an email.
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
We did get a real
Unfortunate.
comment on SoundCloud, so comment on SoundCloud. You could be the second. I hope you liked our feedback. I liked his feedback.
It was pretty good.
If you want to find me in person, I'll be at Cornucopia on 5th and Pearl, Monday nights at 9 p.m. at the Drink and Draw. Win plenty of prizes, great Ninkasi specials.
Moments Go Studios.